I wanted to take a few minutes today to speak from my heart to the Daystar family and friends. Recently, Daystar made the decision to terminate my son Jonthan Lamb's employment. That decision was not taken lightly. It followed a 15-month review of Jonthan's performance and his refusal to take any steps to satisfy a detailed performance improvement plan put in place. He also refused my offer to participate in a formal mediation to resolve grievances in a biblical and professional manner. Rather than take any steps to improve his performance at Daystar, it seems clear now that Jonthan was focused on fabricating a smear campaign. You see, Jonthan was extremely disappointed that he was not named the future president of Daystar following the death of his father and my husband, Marcus Lamb, despite the fact that Marcus had given a clear directive to the family and to the board that I would succeed him as president. Jonathan's disappointment in not getting his way only deepened when I married Dr. Doug Weiss, who has been such a blessing to me, the rest of my family, and Daystar. I can tell you that as a mother, as a grandmother, this situation saddens me deeply, and it grieves my heart because I love my family. I love all my children. I love my grandchildren. I love the work we've done together for so many years. And I had hoped that we could have resolved the situation in private. But now, Jonthan has given me no choice except to speak out. Everyone knows that we have dedicated our lives to spreading the love of Jesus. And to see it attacked by my son Jonthan and his wife is truly heartbreaking. I want to assure you that all the allegations that are circulating against myself and my late husband are completely false. We have already begun to take legal steps to defend ourselves, and we will address the accusations in a God-honoring way. We stand firm in our faith, knowing that God is with us, and his purpose for Daystar is far greater than any present challenge we may be facing. While this attack is very painful and wrong, I know that our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against a spiritual enemy who seeks to destroy and divide no matter what the cost. I want to ask you for your prayers. Thank you for your continued love and support. Our team here at Daystar will keep you updated. Again, thank you for your prayers. God bless you.
Daron Lamb says they have taken steps to defend themselves against all allegations. So that means Daron Lamb, she has lawyered up. And as you can see, the statement was carefully put together. Okay, so these are the things that you have to say, short, concise, and you are going to be addressing the people. Jonthan was named and Suzy was named. So that message is definitely for Suzy and Jonthan. Not only that, Joni is giving us a reason, as to why Jonthan has gone public with this story, So according to Joni, Jonthan is doing all these things because he thought he was going to be the one to take over the empire, to take over Daystar. And because that did not happen, Jonthan was disappointed, And to be fair, if, my understanding was Jonthan was the one who was going to take over. Then all of a sudden, Marcus Lamb, the father, changed and gave everything to Joni, Anybody in that situation, that wouldn't sit well with you, So let's be honest with that. The second thing that Joni has said is that Jonthan also did not like that Suzy is now married to Doug Weiss, And that is that statement is also true because Jonthan and what am I doing? Sorry, guys. So Jonthan and Suzy, they have stated that publicly, that they felt the marriage of the marriage of Daron Lamb and Doug Weiss did not sit well with them, And to be honest, that is actually true because given the circumstances of how they got married, Doug Weiss left his wife of 30 years. The reason is not known, but we can stand like, okay, it was not biblical grounds. And then he went to marry Joni Lamb, right? So, we already said like Joni, the husband died. She was free to marry. So that they were not happy about that arrangement. And like, that is your mother. So somebody is going to come in, okay? And who knows what Jonthan is thinking, right? Okay, so this guy is going to come in. If something happens to my mom, who is going to take over? So all this stuff that my dad built is going to go to another man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in that situation wouldn't like it. So I don't know if the prenup, I'm sure the prenup is going to be private. It's not going to be like a public thing, but who knows, right? So at this point, what Suzy and Jonthan have put on a public domain, according to Joni Lamb, it is not true. She is disputing that. We have Rachel. She's also disputing that. So we have, two sides of the story over here. There is some corroboration evidence as far as the story that Suzy and Jonthan have put out there. But either way, right, this has to go through the court system. And the court system is going to determine after things have been examined thoroughly in a court of law. So for now, this is what is in the public domain. So we are going to discuss it as it is. If things come about that we have to dig through, we're going to do the same, okay? So now, the story that was put out with Jonthan and Suzy is being cross-examined by Mommy, okay? Joni Lamb. She's disappointed. You can actually see her that she was very disappointed. And she says all these allegations will be dealt with in a biblical manner. But I noticed that she did not mention a story that had to do with a granddaughter. She only addressed the Doug Weiss situation, okay? And Jonthan and Suzy, they've said that in a public square as well. So, this is what Joni has put out over here, okay? I wanted to take a few minutes today to speak from my heart to the Daystar family and friends, okay? So, why is Joni addressing Daystar family and friends? Could it be that the donors are asking questions behind the scenes? So they are noticing like, wait a minute, this issue, these stories in the public square are affecting our bottom line because they don't play with their money as far as Daystar is concerned. You're going to see that shortly. And she says, it says, Daystar made the decision to terminate my son Jonthan Lamb's employment. That decision was not taken lightly. It followed a 15-month review of Jonthan's performance and his refusal to take any step to satisfy a detailed performance improvement plan put in place. So, this statement is troubling. Why? Because Jonthan was given an ultimatum, on November 15th to sign a non-disclosure agreement. If he signed that agreement, Jonthan would have been home and dry and he would still be at Daystar today. But because he refused to sign that, it triggered an automatic termination. So, Joni Lamb, was Jonthan fired because for 15 months he was not producing, or is it because he did not sign the NDA? Because there's a record, it's already on my channel, you can take advantage of it. Because the board, they were having a conversation with Jonthan, right? And they told him point blank, if you don't sign, you which means you have, quote unquote, resigned yourself from this job, okay? But now, according to Joni, is telling us that Jonthan was fired because this guy wasn't performing. But guys, remember, Jonthan was demoted from being the vice president of Daystar to go manage a cafe. So you tell me, what is it that was happening at the cafeteria at Daystar that proved that Jonthan was not performing? Because we can understand that, okay, you are a vice president, you're not performing, we're going to demote you, fine. So here you are, you're going to be working at the cafeteria. So Jonthan wasn't performing well at the cafeteria. Is that the reason why he was booted out? Jonthan wasn't doing well at cafeteria, so they needed Jonthan to sign an NDA, the person who was managing the cafeteria. You tell me, guys. But the statement continues, okay? According to this, okay, Jonthan, he also refused Mommy's offer to participate in a formal mediation to resolve grievances in a biblical and professional manner. Rather than take any steps to improve his performance at Daystar, it seems clear now that Jonthan was focused on fabricating a smear campaign. You see, Jonthan was extremely disappointed that he was not named the future president of Daystar following the death of his father. So here is where you're going to find the problem. You have the professional work at Daystar, and then you have the family issues colliding. Okay? According to this statement, okay, it's saying that he refused the offer to participate in a formal mediation to resolve grievances in a biblical and professional manner. Okay? So rather than take any steps to improve his performance, so which is it? Because the grievances, he had grievances, but there was also a lack of performance as far as work was concerned. So which is it, Joni? Okay? So was Jonthan fired because he brought in grievances, or Jonthan was fired because he was not performing? Because if you're having issues at home, that's a family matter. That's a family situation. What does that family situation got to do with the professional work that's being done at Daystar? Once again, Daystar, they say that it's a church. Okay? So what is it that's happening at church, at Daystar Church, that's affecting the performance? Okay? Jonthan was not baptizing. Okay, did he refuse to provide communion? Did he refuse to preach? Because that's what they do at Daystar, according to their own statements. Guys, but we continue. And he says, okay, he also refused, this was a formal mediation. So who was involved in this mediation? We do not know. We do not know, okay? But after, following the death of his father, okay, and my husband, Marcus Lamb, despite the fact that Marcus had given a clear directive to the family and to the board that I would succeed him as president, Jonthan's disappointment in not getting his way only deepened when I married Dr. Doug Weiss, who has been such a blessing to me, the rest of my family, and Daystar. Okay? So at this point, okay, any person in the situation, in the shoes of Jonthan, you would be disappointed. If I was Jonthan, I was promised the keys to Daystar, and all of a sudden those keys are taken away from me. And then my father, my mom ends up marrying somebody else that I do not approve of, I would be disappointed. Absolutely. I would be disappointed. And if he's saying he wasn't disappointed, no, that would be a lie. Anybody in that situation would be disappointed. But the question to ask is, you guys I'm sure you've watched so many movies, right? The situation right now, right, with a $1 billion organization, if you lost keys to a $1 billion organization, okay, people are capable of doing anything when it comes to money, okay? Is it possible that Jonthan is doing all these things with a situation with his parents because of what Daron Lamb is saying? That because, he lost the keys to the kingdom, his mother married Daron Lamb. Is it possible that somebody can do that? The answer is 100% yes. It is a plausible thing that somebody can do that. People do such things all the time, okay? People will do things for family. People will do things for money, okay? People will do things for power. Those things are actually true. So the only way when these things go to the court system it will be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So either John is telling the truth, Jonthan is lying, or Jonthan is telling the truth, Daron Lamb is lying. Because they have contradictory stories that are available to the public domain, both of them cannot be right. Because that would be a contradiction, okay? The truth does not contradict itself. One of them is telling the truth or both of them are lying. It's one way, it's either or. It's either that or this, it cannot be both, as far as truth is concerned. So, with the things that are available there, okay, because at least with this statement, we can ascertain, according to the audio, okay, Jonthan refused to sign an NDA on the 15th, and on the 16th, he was fired. But according to Mommy here, Jonthan was given 15 months to take care of business, and he failed. That's why he was fired. So, we are going to find out. But we continue. But now, Jonthan has given me no choice except to speak out. Jonthan, what have you done? According to Jimmy Evans, when your mama speaks, it's as if God himself is speaking. So if you disobey mama, you have disobeyed God. That's what happens according to Jimmy Evans. Because when Johnny speaks, it's as if the Almighty himself has spoken. So this time around, according to this, Jonthan has left mama with no choice but to speak out. And everyone knows that we have dedicated our lives to spreading the love of Jesus. And to see it attacked by my son, Jonthan, and his wife is truly heartbreaking. Guys, where is the evidence that Suzy Lamb and Jonthan Lamb have attacked the gospel? That we can verify beyond a reasonable doubt. That's not what happened. To my knowledge, I don't recall Suzy or Jonthan saying, profaning the name of Christ in any way, shape, or form. They have brought the allegations, okay? Bringing the allegations, it's not, undermining the work of Christ, okay? At this stage, that cannot be ascertained. They are not doing that to stifle the work of Christ. You cannot prove that, Joni. Okay? They have presented their allegations. At the bare minimum, you can say they haven't handled it in a way, in a nice way. They should have kept it private. Okay? You didn't like what they've done. You can say all those things. Okay? You have a right to say those things. But for you to say them, saying what they've said is undermining Christ, there's no proof of that. If anything, you coming out here, you already told us that your son was fired because he was not performing. You did not say your son was fired because he was undermining the work of Christ. He was undermining the gospel. That's not what you told us. You also said that you brought this under mediation. Your son had grievances. You did not tell us if those grievances were sorted out. But you actually said that he did not follow the instructions that were put forth by Daron Lamb. Because Daron Lamb, ladies and gentlemen, she's infallible. Okay? So that is the problem, okay? And they said over here, so because Jonthan has left mama with no choice, we have already begun to take legal steps to defend ourselves, and we will address the accusations in a God-honoring way. Who is we? Who is we? We don't know. So legal steps, they will be followed, okay, in a God-honoring way. We are yet to find out by what standards, what that means. But we continue. And it says, we stand firm in our faith, knowing that God is with us, and his purpose for Daystar is far greater. Grifting, using the donors' money for jets, for weddings. Is that what we are calling God's work? You tell me. Okay, and it says the purpose of Daystar is far greater than any present challenge we may be facing. While this attack is very painful and wrong, I know that our battle is not against flesh and blood. Oh no, this one is, Joni, because Jonthan is your firstborn son. And Suzy happens to be your daughter-in-law. So this fight of yours, Joni, it is flesh and blood. Oh boy. Okay, Joni had to bring out scripture. It's out of context. It's nothing to do with. This scripture does not, nowhere, not even close. But it's fine. That's what they do at Daystar, quoting scripture out of context all day, every day. And I say, I know that our battle is not against flesh and blood. Unfortunately, it is, Joni. But against spiritual enemy who seeks to destroy and divide no matter what the cost. Who is seeking to destroy and divide no matter the cost? That is your son and your daughter-in-law you're referring to here. I want to ask for your prayers. Yes, that you have. Thank you for your continued love and support. Our team here at Daystar will keep you updated again. Thank you for your prayers. God bless. So that is the statement that Daron Lamb has put out, sending a notice to Jonthan and Suzy that they have lawyered up. So they are telling you we have $1 billion industry at our disposal, so you better bring it because we are going to see you in a court of law with the best lawyers money can buy.